Hey kids, it's March 5th. It's day 44 of the dump presidency. And again, we have a lot to cover. Surprise, surprise. First, let's just talk about some, I don't know if you would call them highlights from last night. I don't have a better word. Situations that occurred last night at the joint session in front of Congress. First of all, it was the longest presidential address. I think they usually call it State of the Union, but I don't know. Can we still call this a union? Is that why we're not calling it that? It was the longest one in history because we know your boy's a yapper. Rep. Al Green almost actually, he did get kicked out. He got kicked out for basically responding when Trump said that he has a mandate from the people. Al Green responded and yelled, "You don't have a mandate from the people to take away their Social Security." So his fucking bouncers came and took Al Green out of there, which is interesting because I don't know if you guys remember one of Biden's, his presidential address. Marjorie Taylor Greene, I can't remember what she did. It was some crazy spectacle. I remember it happening. She's just such an idiot. But obviously, they didn't boot her out. This is not, we are not like them. And now I just want to go listen to that song. Anyways, Trump also admitted that he knows that Americans are going to face hardship because of the tariffs. And, him admitting that is, I think, interesting. I think some people will think that he's doing and saying things on purpose. I tend to think he is losing control of what he says and does in public. That's just my personal opinion. But again, that I feel he has health issues going on. And not everyone believes that. Okay, on to the actual news. Unfortunately, the Trump administration announced today that they're planning to cut 80,000 people from the Veterans Affairs organization. And it sounds like this was a leaked internal memo. Horrible. I mean, they're going to be cutting people that are making services accessible to veterans that desperately need them, even including people that work for the suicide hotlines. I mean, 80,000 people is a lot of people. And I happen to know, because I'm alive and I read the news, that veterans are already struggling to get their services in the first place. And they're not getting them in a timely manner. This is going to make it exponentially worse. And I know that there's veterans speaking out about this already. It's really not good. I think once they make decisions like this, it's going to happen. And it's almost like, do they not care if their own base turns on them now? Maybe not. Maybe they feel like it doesn't matter anymore because they're already in office. And according to them, there will not be a need for any further elections. So obviously they have some sort of plan surrounding no longer needing support. It's such a shit show, though, honestly. All of the people that they're firing now, they're starting to have to beg some of these people to come back. So the CDC just sent out an email to 180 employees with the title, the literal subject line of the email said, read this email immediately. And then essentially, for all intents and purposes, begged these people to come back. And literally in the email, it also said, "We apologize for any disruption that this may have caused." Bitch, this isn't a power outage. You fired these people. And what if they found another job? No. I honestly, it's just it's so messy. It's so childish. It's beyond disruptive. And I think that the sloppiness of having a drug-addled billionaire that has no real-world experience whatsoever just going in there with a hatchet when he doesn't even know what these people do. It's just, it's psychotic is what it is. So I'm very curious to see how many of these people, there was no information about what percentage of these people actually, they're supposed to go back today. So what percentage of these people showed up? I have no idea. If I find out, I will absolutely be telling you. Here's some more sloppy ass shit. The Trump administration released a list of 440 federal buildings that they're planning to sell because they are non-core property. Okay, so like basically it's all their shit about like, we don't really need this. Guess what some of the buildings are that are on this list? The FBI headquarters and the Maine Department of Justice building. Anyways, of course, then the next day they had narrowed it down to like 380. And then the day after that, they deleted the entire list. And now the page just literally says non-core property list coming soon. I don't know, man. You know, if I try to do my job on a bunch of ketamine, and my job is much less complicated than trying to maintain a government, I'm just going to let you know it wouldn't go very well. Just putting that out there. You know, and normal people are not allowed to be high as fuck out of their mind on drugs when they go to work. But it's fine if Elon does it because, you know, we live in hell. Trump has granted a temporary exemption for U.S. automakers from the tariffs. So basically 1 month extension. Part of me is like, what the fuck is the point of that? Unless you're going to permanently exempt them, what is 1 month of time going to buy them? Legitimately. You think they're going to like come up with something? Like, what? Are they going to build a new US auto plant overnight in 1 month? No. Like, what do you want them to do? Just fucking get it over with. If you're going to put everyone through this, flip the switch on and like, let's get adjusted here. Unless you're reconsidering what you're doing because it's idiotic, and that's a whole different story, then go for it. But I don't think he will, because he will realize, I think he has at least enough wits about him to understand that also makes him look like an idiot. If he just turns around and is like, oh, I didn't know that this was going to be so bad. Never mind. Like, I don't know. I mean, maybe he will do that. I have no idea. It really does. It feels like being stuck on like a bus with a very drunk bus driver. And you can't get off. I don't like it. It's not a good feeling. This is a really messed up story. There's no piece of this that surprises me, but I'm still really concerned about what this means nationally for abortion rights. So the Trump administration is moving to dismiss a case that was going on in Idaho to try to force Idaho to allow emergency abortions in situations where the mother's life is under threat. And that case had been brought by the Biden administration against the state of Idaho, that basically, like, you can't just allow a woman to die if she needs an abortion. And I don't know if people understand how many situations someone needs an abortion in order to survive. Do people know that if you have a miscarriage, if something happens to the baby, unfortunately, I've known quite a number of people that have had the horrible experience of stillbirth, where they are giving birth to sometimes almost full-term babies that did not make it. And you have to have your system excavated of the fetal tissue or you die, dude. And that's a fucking abortion. And it just really makes it so that it's not safe anymore for women to sleep with men in this country. And I don't know if men understand that. I know a lot of people are really uneducated about all of this, but like, now you're asking people to put their lives at risk. And we always were putting our lives at risk in order to give birth. But now you're basically telling us that we are not as important to you as your prize motherfucking cow, which you would absolutely do whatever you needed to save a cow's life if that cow was giving you milk or giving you calves, and you won't do the same for a human fucking woman? No. I really predict that this is going to have the effect of absolutely tanking the fucking birth rate in the United States. I think that women actually do have more self-esteem than they've had in previous generations, and I think that a lot of them are going to end up refusing. If this becomes the law of the land, that the mother's life is not saved in an emergency situation giving birth, literally, good luck getting women to touch men anymore. I'm dead ass serious. I think it's gonna drive an unbelievable wedge between men and women, but we'll see what happens. Anyways, that's, they're dropping that case. And if that starts to spread around the rest of the country, we're also going to see the levels of maternal death skyrocket. It's just fucked up. It's honestly, it's repulsive. So Elon Musk has been funding ads in Wisconsin that they're sneaky, and like he did the same thing during the presidential election. I find it insane that that a billionaire, I think he's still technically the richest man on the planet, right? Or I don't know. Maybe he fell out of that status with all of the stuff that's going on with Tesla. I don't know. In any case, he's funding these videos about Susan Crawford, and he is making it look like the videos and texts are coming from her campaign. And he's calling her a progressive, but he's talking very specifically about her support for immigration and her support for abortion, which frankly, I don't know if what he's doing is even going to work, because I think a lot more people actually support abortion rights. And maybe some of these people are starting to realize, like, oh, hey, farmers need immigrants or else their crops all die, because who the fuck is going to pick your crops for you? I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what actually ends up happening. I just personally feel like having money like that in politics is so vile. And literally Elon bought the United States of America. And now he is trying to break it. Panama's president, Jose Raul, came out and called Trump a liar. Trump was, during his address to Congress last night, he was bragging about how America took the Panama Canal back. And so Jose Raul came out and said that's a motherfucking lie, and that Panama continues to maintain full control over the canal, and that China never controlled the canal in the first place. And so BlackRock buying those two ports, which is sketchy also, like, he also basically said that was a private sale to a private company, not to the government of the United States. But it is interesting. It's almost like an admission that BlackRock is working alongside the Trump administration, which wouldn't be surprising. It's definitely creepy. I mean, our country is a corporation at this point. It's really not a country. I don't even know if that's really news. I think a lot of us kind of know that. This is another really stupid thing that they were talking about last night. I'm like embarrassed to even have to read this. Trump, during his address to Congress last night, gets in front of all these fucking people. He's so stupid. It's so embarrassing. And he tells everyone that the US government spent $8 million on transgender mice, on making mice transgender. Bitch, the word you're looking for is transgenic, and it has nothing to do with transgender. They are altering the tissue of mice to try to make it react more similarly to human tissue when they inject these mice with pathogens, which obviously, like, I don't feel like this is ethical, but that's a whole other fucking story. Anyways, they're altering the DNA of these mice to try to study human diseases and conditions. But he is absolutely the dumbest president we have ever had. And it's embarrassing. It's like him, the whole thing with him thinking, damn it, what is the guy from that movie that he constantly, Hannibal Lecter? Because the immigration, the asylum thing, like immigrants that are seeking asylum, seeking safety here. He thinks that they're coming in from us. This is like speculation that people have made, and I bet they're fucking right. He thinks that they're coming in from an insane asylum, so he constantly brings up Hannibal Lecter when it's just, he has no idea what is going on this planet, and I can't believe he's in charge right now. It's so incredibly embarrassing and horrifying every single day. Anyways, speaking of embarrassing and horrifying, business leaders, CEOs have been paying Trump. This is so fucking illegal. I'm disgusted. They've been paying him $5 million a piece to go meet with him at Mar-a-Lago. Or they also have a sale going on. You can pay $1 million to attend a group dinner at Mar-a-Lago. What do you think these people are talking to him about? They're buying our government. They're buying our laws and our policies. They're dumping shit into our water to make it cheaper for them to get rid of our sewage. And then behind closed doors, all these laws are being axed because these people are going there and just giving him money. That isn't fucking insane. This isn't the goddamn mafia. It's crazy, but it is. It is the mafia now. It's not even that good. It's not even that good. There's nothing cool about this. This is embarrassing. The mafia people are at least like kind of cool or something. Very violent, but China came out today and said that it's ready for any type of war with the United States after the tariffs have started. And I think what they're trying to say is, bitch, we're going to beat your motherfucking ass. And like they're ready to take this to a physical war if they feel like it, I guess. I mean, I don't know if it's a matter of time or if they're saying if these tariffs get worse, but Trump keeps telling all these countries if they retaliate, he's going to retaliate again. So, good luck to us with our lives and finances. More corruption for you. Trump was caught on a hot mic, and you can go watch the video. It's pretty clear. Saying to Justice John Roberts, who is responsible for granting him full immunity so that he can do whatever the fuck he wants during this presidency with no legal consequences, he says, "Thank you again. I won't forget it." So anyways, again, it's the mafia, it's corruption, it's pay to play. A little piece of good news. The Supreme Court did deny Trump's bid to try to cancel the $2 billion in funding that was meant for U.S. aid. So they're going to hopefully get the money back. I mean, now we have the Supreme Court ordering him to give the money back. So if they don't do it, then we're really in deep shit. And again, we'll find out soon. But it went all the way up to the Supreme Court because they kept fighting it. Trump, of course, I think is this the last story? No, almost. Trump ended a Biden era task force that was meant to seize Russian assets from Russian oligarchs, okay? And it's to compensate us for shit that Russia was doing to us. So basically, like, for instance, when Russia knocked one of our drones down over the Black Sea, we confiscated assets from Russian oligarchs to pay for it. And Trump just got rid of that. I don't know if it's like a law, but he got rid of the task force. I mean, everything that Trump is doing is benefiting Russia directly because Trump belongs to Russia. And every day that goes by, like, that's more and more obvious. Okay, this is the last story tonight, and it's just more embarrassment. 6,000 USDA workers were ordered back to work temporarily. So again, they keep going in, causing all this chaos, ruining people's lives. There's people committing suicide. Families are probably being ripped apart. You know, a lot of people can't afford to go a paycheck, like go without one of their paychecks. And it takes time to file for unemployment. And now they're getting jerked back and forth. And by the way, this is temporary. So you're going to order them back to work, whatever the fuck that means. Like, I don't know if they can legally do that. You're going to tell them to come back to work. And then what? Because the Trump administration keeps saying they're going to cut even more jobs. Like, they have thousands and thousands of cuts planned. It's just such total fucking chaos. And it also, like, the unintended effect that it's having on everyone in the country is no one feels safe. Because we don't really understand the economic ramifications for other industries. And again, like, this is going to affect the retail sector. It's going to affect the travel sector. It's going to affect basically everything. What is it not going to affect is a bigger question. And so I think a lot of people are very right in assuming that, like, it's a very bad time to spend a bunch of money. And again, like, when people tighten their purse strings like that, I mean, I guess it will accomplish what the Fed was trying to accomplish. The Fed kept saying last year that, like, they wanted unemployment rates much higher. This is a really sick thing that they fucking do. When inflation gets too high, in order to cool off inflation, they want workers desperate and jobless so that they will take low-paying jobs so that corporations and companies can pay their employees less. And, like, that's their fucking solution to inflation. And then people aren't spending as much money. Well, your wish is granted. People are not going to be spending much money this year. And the economy is going to get real cool real fast. I'm really curious to see, too, like, what happens in the housing market. I don't know. I think we are in for an incredibly tumultuous year. But there is a video circulating of Ronald Reagan talking about why putting tariffs on other countries is a dipshit move. And I absolutely hate Reagan's guts, but even Reagan knew that. So, yeah, I mean, that's, I think, why maybe so many people are questioning, is Trump crashing the economy on purpose? And a lot of people feel that the answer is yes. It's for sure in Putin's best interest for the dollar to collapse. And if their final intention is to put in place some kind of diarrhea coin cryptocurrency Ponzi scheme, then yeah, sure. Then yes, it makes sense to fucking crash our economy. Can you tell that I'm bitter? Anyways, I don't know. Do I have any wisdom for you guys at all tonight? I don't know. I don't think I do. I'm sorry. I'll try again tomorrow. I do hope you guys are doing all right. You know, I think my expectation of myself emotionally during this time is that I will be up and down. There will be days when I feel kind of numb, days when I'm really pissed off, days when I feel some level of grief. It just is all normal. When you're living through something like this, it's all normal. Just roll with it, man. If you feel like you're going to freak out, yeah. Wouldn't it be weird if you weren't freaking out? We should be freaking out a little bit. So just make sure you're getting enough sleep. Make sure you're eating 3 meals a day. And I don't know, go watch something funny. I didn't even watch any of that motherfucking mess last night, by the way. I can't listen to him talking for an extended period of time. No, thank you. All right. See you guys tomorrow.